Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3. All right. This is take 10. I have no idea. I lost count after 3. But welcome. This is Within the Frame. My name is Luis. And yeah, this is the first episode of my first podcast. And I feel kind of nervous. This is kind of nerve-wracking. Something completely, not necessarily completely different, just because I did used to have a YouTube channel last year. It wasn't even for that long as well. I believe I had that channel for almost 4 or 5 months, and then I kind of like scrapped the whole idea. But yeah, so yeah, this is my first podcast. Hopefully, it's not as awkward. Especially since I'm actually recording myself with an audio. I mean, not with an audio. Recording myself with the camera, because I will be uploading a video version of this podcast sometime this week. And yeah, this podcast is something that I always wanted to do since last year, actually, and I was in the process of going through with it. I already had 2 episodes lined up for the podcast. I had pretty much like a quick cover art, or like the cover of the podcast series or whatever, just like basically people will know what they're clicking on. And what else? And already had a distributor, which is Anchor. If you guys don't know what Anchor is pretty much an app or a website, I believe, too, as well, where you could just record the podcast and you could do the editing, I believe, within the app, or you could just do it outside of the app, like if you have your own software. Once you have that all done, you just upload the audio, and Anchor will distribute it to Spotify, I believe, Audible, Apple Podcasts, and I don't know where else. All I know is that it does go to Spotify, and yeah, and that's pretty much what I'm gonna be doing. Once I finish this episode for today, I'll try to get it done and edit it. I doubt I'm gonna actually edit it. I'm just gonna keep whatever I'm gonna say into this podcast, because why not? But yeah, and then have it up hopefully by tomorrow, which will be Monday, July 12th, 2021. But yeah, why did I pick Within the Frame for this podcast series? The funny thing is, Within the Frame, or last year when I was in the process of actually doing my whole podcast, Within the Frame podcast was actually going to be about my photography journey and my photography progress, and pretty much how I got myself into a few projects. I guess I'll talk about it now, since like the whole origin of the podcast was about photography. So I guess I'll talk about my photography journey, and then yeah. But yeah, I started photography 2017. Hold up, before I actually go into the story, yeah, like as I was saying, Within the Frame was actually originally going to be a photography podcast, but as of right now, July 11th, 2021, I kept the name. I'm not sure why. Maybe because I really like the name of it, Within the Frame. But the whole podcast will be, or this whole podcast series will be about living life and learning from life as well. Probably like self-help, or not self-help, but I'm not sure. I guess this podcast will be just about me talking whatever I want to talk about, and yeah, well, we'll just see where this goes. But yeah, that's pretty much the origin of the podcast. I was gonna be photography, and I guess I'll talk a little bit about my photography. As I mentioned, I started 2017. I had a Canon T6i. I got it around March as a Christmas gift. Yeah, I know, right? Christmas gift in March, but yeah, it was because it came with a bunch of accessories, and the whole thing was like about uh I believe like $800 at the time. So yeah, so I started with that with the kit lens, and I guess what sparked the idea of me doing photography was Peter McKinnon. If you guys are photographers or videographers or people that do videos, you guys are well aware of who Peter McKinnon is. He's a Canadian photographer and a Canon ambassador. And yeah, I started with a Canon T6i. I don't know if I mentioned that, but yeah, my first camera was a Canon, and I was just doing just a bunch of just amateur stuff, just taking pictures of whatever I saw, and I had no idea what I was doing until I believe uh I think it was with my third year of university or second year of university from 2018 2019. I found out about no, or was it like second semester of freshman year in university, which was like 2018, fall of 2018, where I found out about raw files. So yeah, with pretty much within my first year, I was just taking a bunch of JPEGs without me knowing that I was taking JPEGs, and obviously I didn't know the difference. But yeah, what else? Yeah, I was doing that. I was just doing like a bunch of I guess you can say like free work, just because I wanted to learn about photography and especially the video side. Yeah, and after I was able to save up a couple, like a good amount of money, from working and also doing like small gigs, with my camera. Oh, I sold my T6i. I remember posting it on social media, and a lot of people were freaking out that I was gonna give up photography. And no, I gave up a DSLR, sold that one, had enough money to put down as a down payment, even though I was gonna finance the whole camera, and I got myself a Sony mirrorless A7 III. And honestly, one of the best cameras I've ever purchased. And yeah, at the moment I'm not recording with the Sony. I actually am borrowing my girlfriend's Canon M50, I believe it is, because I sold my Sony. That was in the reason why, because as of last year, I kind of lost interest in everything, and I sold it. But then next thing you know, after selling it a few months later, I bought myself a Fuji X100V, just because the Fuji camera, or that specific model, is a fixed lens, so it kind of restricted me into one focal length, but it also made me think more and in composing my pictures. And on top of that, I really like the Fuji colors as well. So yeah, what else? Yeah, that was pretty much my whole rundown. Oh yeah, when I also got my Sony camera, a month later I was interested, or no, not a month later. I got the Sony camera. My birth month, which was August of 2018 or 2019. No, it was August 2019. Yeah. And then a few months later, that's when I was gonna do vlogging, but the whole pandemic happened, so most of my vlogs were just like in my backyard or me doing a bunch of short film within my home. Obviously, since we couldn't go out. And yeah, so that was pretty much the purpose of the podcast originally, and that's the backstory of the podcast and the backstory to the name of Within the Frame. And now going back to today's episode, it will be about starting, and this is a perfect example of starting something. Me starting something that I always wanted to do, which was a podcast. And yeah, like why did I fell through? I'm not sure if I said it, but I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. But I didn't went through the process because I was too I guess I don't think I was ready for it in a way. I don't think mentally I was ready for it, and I did had a good amount of online presence, I believe. Um, but I just don't think I was ready for it, and yeah, even though I already had everything lined up, um, like yeah, and unfortunately for this podcast, I don't have a cover art. I don't have no episodes pre-recorded, so this is gonna be the first episode recording the day before I'm gonna publish it. If I'm able to do this as soon as or as quick as I can, even though I doubt I'm gonna do any editing, just because I want to keep this all in there, I guess. But uh, yeah, pretty much, I guess I wasn't ready mentally, and then for now, at the moment right now, uh, I've told my girlfriend, I believe like a month ago or a couple weeks ago, where I told her like, oh yeah, like I actually wanted to start a podcast last year, but I just don't think I wanted to do it. And then she told me, how come you don't want to do it now? And I was like, well, I don't know. I don't think I'm ready. She was like, oh, like you should definitely do it. Like I'll listen. And I was like, yeah, but I don't know if I really want to actually do it. And then I guess whenever I mentioned it to her, she would be kind of persistent on me wanting to do it. But then I was like, maybe I'll think about it. And yeah, like I kind of was thinking about it. I wrote it down in my journal until I believe like last week. I told her, you know what, fudge it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna just write down a few stuff on my notes to see why I'm doing it and what's the purpose of doing it, and yeah, where it's gonna go. And here I am right now, starting the episode or starting a podcast, and yeah, I just I guess in a way the reason why I didn't start as soon or I didn't start earlier was because I guess it's not that I wasn't ready. I just don't think I guess I was just too worried about who is going to listen to my podcast, even though I shouldn't worry about that. Whenever you want to start something, your focus shouldn't be, oh, I wonder if anyone's gonna like what I'm doing. Like that shouldn't be your focus. As like a lot of people say, like if your main focus on starting something or wanting to do something is just to, I guess, to impress people or to get people's attention, then you should rethink your idea and then start something that you actually want to do it from the heart. And like if you want to do something from the heart, or if it's something you're passionate about. And so obviously for this one, like I not that I'm passionate about, it's just that I wanted to do something. I wanted to do something. I wanted to start a hobby in a way. And yeah, like this is one of my many hobbies that I'm doing. One of my other hobby is doing photography. I'm actually picking that up again now after like a few months of pretty much just saying nah. Like yeah, like after I sold my camera, uh I was just like, yeah, I give up on photography. But then like I think like a month later or two, I got me a Fuji camera just to see, so I don't have to spend a lot of money on lenses, just because like glass on cameras is so expensive. But after having like the Fuji camera for a bit, I kind of gave up on it. And yeah, like I was like, yeah, like I don't think this is for me, and I didn't return it. I just kept it just because like it's a pretty cool like compact camera, and I just wanted to keep it, just as I don't know, just in case I was gonna pick it up. But yeah, like that's another hobby that I'm actually planning on getting into again, and probably just do small projects and stuff like that. Especially since as I mentioned before, I was looking over my archives and stuff like that. Or I don't know if I did mention it, but I was looking over my archives of videos that I used to do in short films. And I remember I was looking at this one short film that I had, and I actually posted it on my Instagram, on my photography page, which is archives x jpg. And right there is my first video that I did, or my first short film that I did, which was called Isolation. It was just like, it's about the whole pandemic thing. And yeah, so I'm hoping to pick up photography again, even though it's pretty expensive. I already have my eyes on this one camera that I want, which is a Lumix S5. Why? Just because it has the same lens as the Leicas, the L mounts, and I actually want to one day be able to buy a Leica SL. And yeah, but that's if I actually want to get into photography and video again, which I kind of do, just because I feel my friends at work they're like, oh yeah, like or fuck how do I word this, like I know I did a photo shoot with my friend Brandon, was this 2005 or 6 C5. I forgot what year it is. I know it's one of those 2 years, and it's a C5 Corvette. And after that, he liked the pictures, and he was like, "Hey, like we should do this more often." And then I believe at the jobs that I'm working right now, there's this one kid named Nick. He has a RX-7. I believe it's a 1987 or 89. One of those, so a really old car which has no airbags, because that's how cars were like back then, before like 1996 is where airbags became mandatory on vehicles. But yeah, and they were both talking, saying, "Oh yeah, Brandon said that I do photography and video, and that and Nick was interested in my work, but he just wants to see Brandon's project on his car, or me doing Brandon's like video and photography for his car, just so he could have a pretty good idea if he wants to invest his time in me," which I don't blame him. But yeah, so that's probably one of my reasons why I kind of want to do it, just because, yeah, it's just, I guess they both sparked my interest, and especially as I work as a technician, I like working in cars, and then yeah, it's pretty interesting. I don't know where I'm going with this. Oh crap! But yeah, just like if you want to start something, do it just because you're passionate about, or do it because it's something that you wanted to do. Don't do it just because you want to gain I guess if you want to like show off to people, or if you think it's something that you'll be able to make money out of it. Because if money is the first thing that comes into your mind, then you should rethink what you're doing and focus on something else completely different, because you're gonna end up hating it, just like a lot of people say. And I guess it's kind of true. Like you should do something. You should do something that you will like enjoying for the rest of your life, instead of doing something because it pays good. Because even though you're gonna get paid like a really good amount of money, and if this is like a shitty job or something, you're not gonna like it. But yeah, just that's one thing to think about too. And that's one thing too. I was actually conflicted on, because I wasn't sure if I was gonna do it just for the money, or if I just wanted to do it because I wanted to do it. And that's why it kind of took me too long too as well to decide if I wanted to do a podcast. But here I am. I just wanted to have a hobby, as I mentioned, just to do something on my spare time, and I guess I guess talk about myself, probably current events, have a little bit of Q&As and polls and stuff like that. I actually have an idea, or a topic I want to talk about on the next episode. I guess I could just probably mention it briefly right now. I remember my girlfriend, she posted on her story. She wanted I guess a good idea of what men and women thought about this. Basically, for the men, she asked if any of us would date a girl that is slightly taller than us. And then for her, it was the other way around. She asked her friends, her lady friends, saying, "Oh, would you still date a guy that is slightly shorter than you?" And the funny thing is, my girlfriend, she is taller than I am, but like not by a lot. I guess like an inch or two. So like for me, it's not a big deal, because I really don't care. And And yeah, so I'm not gonna go into that just because that's a whole topic within itself. But yeah, what else? I feel like I don't know what to do. It's just I feel so nervous. I don't want to get off topic as well and talk about some other stuff. But yeah, like just if you have anything you want to do, just do it. Start something. It's better if you do it now, and then be able to say, I at least I did something. At least I did something out of my comfort zone. I did something that I wanted to do, and you could just just write that down on or just check it off on your bucket list and say, yep, I've done this, instead of waiting and waiting and waiting whether or not if you should do it or not. And I mean, yeah, don't end up like me, almost waiting a year of of a podcast. And I'm actually really excited where this is all going, or where this might lead to, or I have no idea what I want to say. Oh man, this is so awkward. But yeah, just yeah, that was pretty much me. Pretty much a ramble of what I want to say and stuff. And right now we're about to hit being 22 minutes within this episode, and honestly, I feel like this is gonna be kind of cringe. But you know what? It's whatever. I guess a lot of people know that I am like this, especially on like the friend groups that I'm in. I honestly don't care. I just, hey man, yeah. But I don't think I wrote anything in my journal actually. All I have is just this. When I did the teaser, I don't know if you can see it. Sorry to my audio people. But yeah, if you want to see what I have, is just pretty much a journal with one page saying within the frame a podcast about living life and learning, and then on the other page it says first topic starting, which is this obviously what I just got done talking about. And yeah, and I guess like I posted this on my podcast Instagram uh account, which is within the frame dot podcast. And I guess I posted that just to keep myself unchecked, to see that, oh yeah, I have something that I need to do, instead of just like I guess not have anything and then just keep brushing it off my shoulder, like yeah, I'll get into that, or I'll eventually do a podcast episode. So yeah, and I believe I posted that. I'll check right now on my Instagram. Give me a sec. I posted that 3 days ago, which was I believe it was a Thursday or a Friday. No, it was a Thursday that I posted that. Yeah, I posted that on Thursday, which was July 8th. Oh, but yeah, I guess it was just a way for me to remind myself, yep, you got something to do. And especially right before recording this episode 2, I posted on my podcast account on my story that I'm in the making of making I'm in the making of making my first episode. Um, and yeah, I know my girlfriend, she reposted it, and one of my friends, John, he told me where it's going to be published, and I believe I told him it's gonna be published through Spotify, and I'll have the visual or the video version on the pack of the podcast on YouTube. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like I'm not making a lot of eye contact on the camera. Oh man, I apologize to my viewers watching this podcast. I'm not making a lot of eye contact. It's just, I don't know. It's something that I'm not used to. Even when I did used to vlog, I still didn't look on like at the camera. I was just too. I guess it made me feel too nervous, too awkward. But yeah, I guess this is a wrap of this episode. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I was way too off topic. I feel like I had no idea what I was gonna talk about. But yeah, and plus this camera that I have, which is normal with all cameras, a camera can only record like about 30 minutes, and which is completely normal because a camera is dedicated for photography, not for video. But yeah, I guess this is it. Right after I sign off, I'll quickly get through with everything and have this episode published by tomorrow. And when the next episode is going to be, I'm not sure. That's the one thing too. I'm not sure if I want to do this weekly or every other week. Just because I feel like my life is not that interesting. But I guess over time I could just like ask people questions, and we can just I guess have people tell me topics that I should talk about, or just like have a bunch of Q&As. I mean, I'm not even that famous to have Q&As, but I can also talk about, I guess, what I'll be doing with photography as well, just because I know I told two friends that I want to do some videos of their cars and some photography of their cars as well. Just because my girlfriend, she's a graphic designer, so she has like she showed me a project that she did with a magazine, which looked pretty dope. So I was like, hey, I got two friends, we can do some car photography, and I can give you the images, and you could do some magazine mock-ups and put that as your portfolio. And yeah, I mean, she win, I win, my friends win because they get pictures of their cars because they're so obsessed with their cars. But yeah, I'm really excited to what really has to come with everything. Honestly, I just don't know how to express that, but I'm really excited. And thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. And I guess until next time, just follow me on Instagram, which is withintheframe.podcast, so you could keep yourself up to date when the next episode is going to be and when the episodes are published. So yeah, once again, just thank you for bearing with me, honestly, even though this was so freaking awkward. But yeah, thank you, and see ya.